for now. Let me do this. Let me do this. We're good. Good evening, sir.
Hello, hello. How are you?
Oh, I'm spectacular. How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. Vibing, vibing.
Vibing. What would you be doing tonight if you did not join us right now?
Um, I'd probably continue to be watching Punked from the early 2000s.
Where did I just see that? Where did I just see Punked? On some streaming service. What was it? Hulu?
Yeah, that's what I'm watching
Is
it
it? Yeah,
on.
yeah, yeah. It was my. I have three daughters. My middle one's really sick right now, so we were flipping through. I was trying to find something else for her to watch. We turned on Hulu. Um, and I saw Punked, and I was like, "Wow, I haven't seen that in forever." Dax Shepard's on it. The
Yeah,
guy from The Office, which I can't. Ryan from The Office was on it, and I was like,
BJ Novak.
"Thank you very much, BJ Novak." And we didn't end up watching it. She actually picked Dance Moms, which I ended up watching a lot longer than she did. Uh, Very interesting. Some of those
Gotcha.
moms are crazy. Don't know if you've ever seen
Uh,
it, but they're crazy.
Now, but I've heard.
Yeah, and like my daughter, she's 10, and she goes, "Yeah, this show's about these moms making it more." She's so wise, making it more about themselves than the dancers. And I was like,
Yeah, it
"Well, I
checks
gotta watch.
out.
I gotta watch this." Um, but thank you for giving us your time tonight. Sorry I'm interrupting Punked. But it's streaming. You can watch it anytime. It's like
Yeah, it's all good.
it's the state of the world, right? There's nothing
Yeah.
live anymore. Um, is is the word mark or being a mark or marking out a bad word?
Um, I think as far as that terminology goes, it's all about context
Yeah.
and intention, like how you're intending to use it. Um, yeah, I mean, it could go either way.
Um, we say this a lot on here that it's okay to mark out. Like we're all. I look at it. I guess in my view, I look at it as a good term. Like I would
Mm,
think marks are a good thing. Like the origin of that word, if I'm not mistaken, is who who is a good mark. So who is a good demographic is the way I would put it. And
yeah,
yeah, right.
because those are the people who are spending the money.
Yeah, that's right. Right now, kids are the marks because they got disposable income. They just get it from their
Mm,
parents. Get them. Um, in this wrestling world and business, you've been doing it. I think since 2014, maybe give or take a year. Trained by the great Ronnie Deeds, I believe. I think that's his name.
Sun, Sunny D.
Sonny. Sonny,
Yeah.
Ronnie. Close. Close. I was researching at work, so I must have heard Sonny, wrote Ronnie. It's all good.
No
Um,
worries.
Thank you very much. Uh, Growing up, you played high school football. You walked
Hmm.
around. You banged heads. You played under the lights on Friday. Maybe I don't know. I just been watching a lot of Friday Night Lights. But as far as wrestling goes, what hooked you into the business? I mean, we all watched it and loved it. I watched it and loved it.
Hmm.
But what hooked you to actually go in and do it?
I don't know. I've like straight up always wanted to my whole life. I was hooked for I think I was like 6 years old when I saw Yokozuna versus Undertaker, and that just kind of changed my whole world. Um, and then when I was a kid, me and my brother and the neighborhood kids would all like wrestle on the trampolines and stuff, and it was all I was ever about. So eventually, you get the urge, you get the itch, the opportunity creates itself, and then you step into the ring.
And so you tell your parental figures, this is what I want to do. I want to go into wrestling. What was their initial?
Yeah.
What was their thoughts initially?
Um, it was always like, yeah, that's cool, that's fine. Just make sure you have like a real goal, like like a backup plan. And I was too dumb to do that.
You didn't think ahead in the future.
Nah, I was like, nah, they don't know what they're talking about. I'm gonna be main eventing WrestleMania. I don't need social studies.
No, it's overrated.
Yeah.
You think Austin Kutcher did social studies before he came out with Punked? No.
I don't know. That dude's like a whole advocate for all kinds of like causes and stuff now. I think he's like retired from Hollywood.
Yeah.
Seems super smart.
I think he learned after the fact, though. I don't think he was
Yeah.
retroactive.
Yeah, probably.
Probably. Good looks. I had that '70s show. Looked right up.
Hmm.
And he was a model, too. He was a model before the '70s show, I believe. Calvin Klein.
I mean, I believe it.
I think so. Um, got transitioned back from Calvin Klein, Austin Kutcher modeling to wrestling. It's difficult, but I'll get there. I'm gonna fast forward. So obviously you went into the training with Sunny Deeds. You taking
Hmm.
your first bumps. You having your first match with I think Travis Banks, who also trained along with you.
Hmm.
But what I'm very interested about, and I heard you mention this on another show, is you got some great advice about a ladder match from one of the best to ever do the ladder match, and that is the late great Scott Hall.
Yes.
I was interested in what advice he gave you that night and how you utilized it.
Okay, cool. So this was like my first ever ladder match, and just so happened that day, my fiance and I went to the big event. She's a big fan. We're big marks.
There you go.
But I was mostly there for her because she got to meet Gold Dust, and I was like, okay, well while we're here, I'll meet Scott Hall. And I never, when I meet the names and stuff, I never say, oh, I'm a wrestler or anything. But for Scott Hall, and I had a ladder match that night, I just said, yeah, hey man, I've been watching your ladder matches to kind of study and prepare for this one. And he like lights up. He's like, oh, like love to talk about it. But he's like, the thing about the psychology of a ladder match is that you have to acknowledge the thing that you're trying to get. No one ever does that. Everyone does their spots, and that's cool. But every once in a while, you got to look up at that belt and that or that briefcase, whatever it is. You got that's what you're trying to get. You need to let the crowd know that's what you're trying to get.
Yeah, it's like we were talking Money in the Bank matches earlier before you came on, and when that bell rings, and it kind of I guess in Money in the Bank you see it because you have like 6 competitors, but like in a ladder match, when that bell rings, the first thing you should be doing is trying to get a ladder up and get to that title.
Mm-hmm. Right. Or at least like his thing was every beat. You get
Yeah.
pop a big move. That's fine. Just
Soak it
look
in
up.
and look
Like
up.
that's yeah.
Yeah. Wow. You mentioned psychology, and you're big on the psychology of a match, and Scott Hall gave you some great advice. As far as in ring psychology, storytelling, which you're extremely high on, I've heard you mention it several times before. Um, do we not have enough storytelling in today's day and age?
I'd say that depends on where you're looking. Um, certain platforms are much better at storytelling than others. Some rely on it more, or however you want to phrase it. But I would like there to be more of it for sure. Or maybe I don't know. Maybe it's good that we don't have as much because then it's more special when I feel it. I don't know. Just with anything in wrestling, there's a million different ways to look at it,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, it's all about your viewpoint.
Do you have like a list of stories you would like to tell in the ring? Do you have like a white whale of a story you would like to tell?
Um, not like a list, but I do like I'll watch wrestling and pick up on the story that's being told and just be like, that's a story I'd like to try and tell. Uh, but even that and like moves, I always think, oh yeah, I'm gonna do that, and then I forget and just come up with stuff on my own.
I heard you talking about I think it might have been moves, it might have been spots. Basically, you said I'll see something, I'll like this in the match, I'll take it for myself, not really like copying and stealing, but take it, deconstruct it, rebuild it, retell it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I just thought that was, I mean, that was great stuff when I heard you say it. There's not really a question behind it. I've just heard a lot of people say that. I think Bully Ray said it on Busted Open. You don't steal people's moves. You find ways to retell them as your own, something of
Mm-hmm.
that nature. Um, I thought that was great when I heard you say it. Now I feel like Chris Farley in SNL. Remember that
Now,
time? Remember
yeah,
that time? That was great. That was great, Mr. Radke.
I will say it is important though. Um, for me, when I watch like a move or a spot or whatever, and I try to make it my own. It's important not just to take the move, but to figure out what worked about it. Like,
Right.
why does this move work? And kind of deconstruct it from there instead of just, oh, I like that move, I will do that move.
Um, we talked about in-ring psychology and storytelling. I'm watching. I have NXT playing behind us. You might be able to see it. My glasses. I don't know. But it made me think. This guy got thrown outside the ring, and quickly starts holding his knee. You know, you get thrown outside, you land, you hold your knee. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
till this day, I'm 40 something years old. I stopped keeping count. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
it always gets me. The knee injury in a wrestling match always gets me. I'm like, did that guy really just tear one of his CLs
Right.
or what? That's the one selling. As long as you don't oversell it, that
Mm-hmm.
gets me every time. Um,
Right.
selling, overselling, psychology. What can we get a little more of in wrestling, and what should we have a little less of?
Um. Hmm. Well, I think we should have less um people who their or characters who their whole character's built around their whole personality is I am tough. I am a tough guy. Like that's there's so many of those, and I think that it makes everyone who does that seem less special to me. Just my personal opinion. Um, more of
Which is odd because it's wrestling. You would think being tough would work,
mhm.
but
Right.
we get too much of that.
Yeah, because I don't know. You ever walk into a room and like everybody is kind of the same, like
Yeah,
a corporate meeting or something like that.
yep,
They're all just kind of drones, right? It's kind of the same thing
yeah,
for me.
yeah. It's like
Um,
go ahead.
I was here's what I would like to see more of is more non wrestling segments on indie wrestling shows.
I would like to see more of that as well.
That is something that I don't think because we're doing is emulating what we
Right.
we saw growing up on television, right? But like no one's doing weddings or any of that dumb stuff that like and sometimes the internet like
Yeah.
hates it or whatever, but like that's what's fun about wrestling. It's not just like I don't know.
We need a good indie wedding. You're right. We need a good indie wrestling wedding.
Oh, we did have one. My best friend Big Dust had one couple months ago
Oh,
in Seven Valleys, PA. But I'm just saying, like, but that was the
right.
thing though, is that it was something that we worked really hard on and kind of had to pitch, and then felt so grateful that we were given kind of this creative freedom to do that. And it's because we don't ever get to do stuff like that.
And I talked about, I've had this question before because, and I say it all the time, like, I was never into independent wrestling until I started this show, which is weird to say now.
Mm-hmm.
But I've talked to a lot of indie wrestlers since, and I, to me, I'm like, well, how do you carry storylines across promotions? And how do you have factions? And how do you do, well, just what you're saying? How do you have those stories across promotions, across independent wrestling? And
Mm-hmm.
I think it's challenging. I think it can be done, but it's challenging.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. I mean, it all depends on. Obviously, it has to be decent promotions. As far as cooperation, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's you can never carry, not never, but be tough to carry a storyline over, cross promotional, but then like, but but with every promotion that you work with, because everyone's got their own agendas and things that they want to accomplish. So I, as a performer, can't just take that over for whatever vanity project I'm trying to do. But I've been fortunate enough to be able to do some things like that. This kind of narrative follows 3 or 4 promotions, and that's always fun.
Um, you, I'm trying to figure out which bullet point I want to go to next. I write all these notes down and never stick to them. Another thing that you mentioned when I was preparing for this, and something
Mm-hmm.
I use in my daily regular shoe job, is continuous improvement. And you mentioned like that's a goal of yours. Like after every match, you want to go back, you want to continuously improve from match to match to match. Is basically what you were trying to get at. I'm going to ask you specifically, after you have a match, what are you watch it back and pick out things you could have done better, or hey, is that literally what it is?
Yeah, I mean, I try to I try to have someone film my match just with my phone, so I don't have to wait for like the footage to get
Right.
released. I don't always, but when I can, I do. And yeah, I want to see. Especially, I'm at a point right now where I'm trying to experiment a lot in the ring with different kinds of things that I can do. So if I try something new, or usually I try a few new things, I want to watch it back. I want to see what worked. I want to see what didn't work. If it didn't work, I want to see maybe what I can do to make it work, or just scrap it altogether. Um, I want to see what kind of looks sloppy, so I can clean that up. Um, yeah, and I'm just constantly, picking apart my stuff, just trying to be better.
And that leads to something I've asked a lot of people. Like when you come through the curtain, would you rather have people come up to you and give you like a big pat on the back, like "Great job, it was awesome," or would you rather have people
Mm-hmm.
come up to you and say, "Oh, this spot could have used a lot of work," or "This move was a little this or that"? Would you rather have constructive criticism after your match or an attaboy?
Um, I think both have their place. I have gotten pretty good at this point at figuring out who's being honest and who's just giving me an attaboy. Because especially my friends are great gauges, because they'll tell me when something's messed up, and I'm very lucky to be able to work on a lot of shows where my friends are with me. But they'll tell me, hey, that wasn't the best, or this is what you messed up on. But there are other times when I come back and they're just high fives and thumbs ups, and so. But I do want constructive criticism, but I don't like it when it's unsolicited.
Gotcha.
And I'm sure that's not the most traditional like way or whatever. I don't want to come off as like a diva or disrespect for anything, but like I ask people whose opinions I kind of want. Not and that's not just asking people who would tell me it's good. I'm asking people whose kind of opinion I value.
People you trust.
And yeah, I'm not a fan of someone that I barely know just coming up to me. And of course, like I've had it done with like some of it, like a name on the show, like a big name, and that's cool. I'll take that. But
right. Is there a perfect match?
No, absolutely not.
I was gonna say that's the best. That's the best answer ever.
So like one of the best matches of all time, kind of universally, is Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio, right. Halloween Havoc, right?
Yep.
There's some sloppy shit in there. Or sorry, I don't know if
you're good. You're good. Sloppy shit.
There's some sloppy shit in that match, and God, who am I to say? But like, yeah, there's some miscues. Doesn't matter.
Right.
Still an amazing match, but no, it wasn't perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. Because that match is always thrown out there as one of the greatest matches ever. Mm-hmm. And you do go back and watch it. I mean, maybe not me. I don't wrestle. But I'm sure if I went back and watched it now, there'd be things I didn't enjoy about it. I'll be that guy that says I didn't even enjoy Mysterio's ring gear, but that's a different story. I didn't enjoy the ring gear that night.
Not his best. It's cool looking, I guess, okay. But not my favorite.
You have also mentioned on other shows, like when someone said to you, like, what advice would you give in this and that? And you always said, you kept saying the same thing over and over. Don't take it too serious, and like don't take wrestling too seriously. Is that hard in a business that's a business and one where safety's involved? You need to train. I'm sure you weren't talking about that aspect. What aspect of don't take it too seriously were you getting at? And is it easier said than done?
Yes, absolutely easier said than done, right? Because this is an art form that to do you have to have some level of passion for.
Right.
So yeah, it's you have to kind of keep yourself in check sometimes, where it's like, hey, this isn't the battle to fight or whatever it is. This isn't something to kind of get yourself upset over. But no, obviously, everyone should take their in-ring seriously, even their character stuff. Take the work seriously. It's the kind of, I don't want to say political because it's too broader a term, but like just the mundane minutia of everything that goes into what we do. Can't take it too seriously, or you think you should be getting something that you're not getting because you're working very hard. Like, can't take that too seriously. I took like a little hiatus from wrestling at the end of 2019, and I thought I was done, thought I had retired. But when I did come back, my philosophy was just that I just want to have fun. That's all I care about. I just want to have fun and create good art and have fun with hang out with my friends. Like because that's kind of all I do. And not only have I just enjoyed myself more, but I've been more successful with that kind of mindset than I was like caring so much about the minutia of it all.
Were you taking it too seriously? Is that what led to the hiatus?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the things, there was a couple of things, or a bunch of stuff that was going on, but
Yeah.
I think one of the big ones was like, yeah, I'm taking investing far too much of my bandwidth on wrestling, and it's making me depressed. I don't. It's just not fun anymore. I don't want to do it.
Mental health is big in the world of wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Not to be taken lightly.
Yep.
All right, moving on. Who are the Goons, and how can I become one?
So there is a closed registration at the moment for the Goons. But the Goons would be, damn, there's 8 of us. I hope I don't forget anybody. Myself, Robb Radke, Killian McMurphy, Big Dust, Dustin Wilson, Eel O'Neill, A.K. Willis, Miles Millennium, Saul Esparza, and Nelly.
No Erica Lee?
Erica is the most Goon adjacent human being on the planet.
Goon adjacent.
A spiritual Goon, if nothing else. But official canon Goons, those are the 8.
I like all those words. Adjacent, canon. It's like Catwoman. Like, is Catwoman really with Batman, or is
right.
Catwoman Batman's villain? You never really know.
The way I think about it is like, if you buy Ninja Turtles merchandise,
yes, okay,
a lot of the times Shredder is on it.
Yes.
So she's a big part of what we do, but she is, kind of the foil to all our schemes.
Well said. Yeah. You buy that Star Wars shit. You buy fucking yeah.
A lot of Vader merch out there.
Oh yeah. Everybody loves Darth Vader.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other thing I was wondering, Big Doss, the Goons, have you guys put out nothing but the hits yet? Because I'm looking for some new music to listen to.
Not yet. No. We're working on it. We got a lot of there's a lot of projects in the queue at Goon HQ.
HQ, like a cartoon.
Yeah, we'll put out a press release as soon as that's ready.
Is there do I sign up with my email for the press release?
As soon as we get the Patreon up and running, I'll let you know, and we can get all that squared away.
Speaking of third-party ways to stay afloat, who's Thicky Steamboat?
Oh, Thicky Steamboat?
Yeah.
That's my OnlyFans handle.
That's a great handle, by the way.
Thank you.
One of my favorite handles of all time. OnlyFans, Twitch handle, any handle. Grab up Thicky Steamboat. What can we expect from that? What does that get us?
Nothing. I don't ever post anything on there. I
just gotta
have it. Occasionally, I try to do something, and then I just don't have the
motivation,
the work ethic for it. Because my fiance is an actual earner on there, and it's a lot of hard work.
Yeah, there's a lot of shit I want to do for this show and all that stuff. It's just time and fucking effort. Hard.
Yep.
But I've gotten through all the wrestling crap. I'm sure I left stuff out, and we're gonna finish up with obviously what you got coming up, where we can find you. But there's a lot of stuff non-wrestling that really intrigues me with you. First of all, you have a podcast, Anything But Wrestling podcast, which has me completely jealous because we have a wrestling show or podcast, and we hardly talk wrestling. Hardly.
Right.
Yeah. And I think your mindset behind that is great. How often does those episodes come out? How's that work?
So I try to do bi-weekly every other week.
Okay.
I did take some time off to kind of prepare for some wrestling shows and get my mind behind that. So I just started season 2 with Shay McCoy. We talk our Taylor Swift fandom. Not sure who the next episode is going to be, but hoping to get that out next week. Yeah.
Um, Speaking of Taylor Swift, new album out. I believe it's called Midnight. It's Taylor Swift big in my household. I have 3 daughters. It's huge. It's been huge forever.
Okay.
What do I call myself? I'm a Taylor Swift fan. Am I a Swiftie?
Yep, Taylor Swift fans are Swifties.
I'm a Swiftie. I have not heard the new album yet.
Mm-hmm.
I take that back. I've heard the single. I've heard Anti-Hero. Heard that one.
Okay, yeah.
So I don't have an actual review on the new album. My favorite album is 1989.
That's a good one. That's the album that made me a Swiftie.
Okay, all right. Have you heard Ryan Adams cover that album?
No, I might have.
You might. It's worth a listen. It's interesting.
Yeah.
So where was my question? So, what is okay? I haven't heard the new album. Have you heard it?
Yes.
Okay.
Many times.
Give me besides Anti-Hero, which I've heard because it's been on, Sirius. Give me a couple more tracks I should be listening to tonight when I fall asleep.
Maroon.
Okay.
Is maybe my favorite. You're on Your Own, Kid is great. Snow on the Beach.
Ooh.
And the opening track, Lavender Haze.
Okay. My oldest daughter is all about this album, so I know it's good.
It's crazy. The whole world's about this album. It's kind of nuts.
I almost bought my oldest daughter the vinyl record yesterday. I was at Target and I was gonna buy it, and there's 4 different covers with 4 different colors of vinyl, and there was no price on the fucking albums. So my attention deficit disorder did not allow me to look the price up and get it, but I will get her it eventually.
Well, you know why that is. The 4 different covers.
No, I do not.
If you put them together in a square, there's a clock.
Oh, motherfucker.
And then on her website, she sells the clock mechanism that you can hang up.
Are you fucking kidding me? Now I gotta buy all 4.
Marketing genius.
She is a marketing genius. Damn. Well, I'm more happy that there's a reason behind it than just to have 4 albums.
Right, yeah. But you do want to get it from Target, because I guess the Target exclusives have an exclusive track that's not on Spotify or anything, called Hits Different.
Okay. Hey, I'd love to take Target trips. Have you ever seen her? Have you ever seen her perform live?
No, hoping to when she comes to Philly on this tour.
Yeah, my wife's trying to get tickets too, which is challenging. I don't know if she did. She didn't tell me.
So they haven't gone on sale yet. I just know I waited 6 hours on her website to try and to register for pre-sale.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Even
right.
Yeah, I'm still not even guaranteed to be able to get a ticket, but All
right, I'm being asked in the chat a Taylor Swift question, which I don't have the answer to, but you might. Did Taylor Swift drop the next name of Ryan Reynolds' baby?
I don't know. So Taylor Swift is notorious for leaving a lot of Easter eggs and puzzle pieces in her music and all her content, and awesome. There's a whole community of Swifties who just like try and decode everything, and more power to them.
Right.
But I do not have the energy to do deep dives into what she's got teasing. I just let the internet do it and wish him the best of luck.
That's how I handle wrestling. That's how I handle the Bray Wyatt
Yeah,
situation. I let
yeah,
some other geek handle that, and I'll just follow along.
yeah.
Wow. Now I feel like I have to go listen to the album tonight. I fall asleep. I usually listen to sports talk radio, but now I think I'll listen to Midnight.
Can't go wrong.
Another non-wrestling thing I want to bring up. My notes, my sources tell me you're a Tennessee Titans fan.
That is correct.
Fuck yes.
Unfortunately.
Right? I am.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately. I live in upstate New York, but I'm a Boston fan for everything except football, where I'm a Titans fan. Very odd. Used to be an Oilers fan. Yes. Unfortunately, I'm a Titans fan. Now,
right.
I have high hopes for them.
Mm-hmm.
Because I believe in their coach, I believe in their running game,
right,
and I believe in their defense. That's one thing we're lacking.
Yeah.
What did you think of the game this Sunday night versus KC?
So I caught the very end of it because I was at a show.
Mm-hmm.
But I tuned into the game right when the Chiefs tried that 2-point conversion. Okay. So I saw all 3 tries that they had, which was cool. But I just think I've been thinking a lot about it, actually. Probably too much.
Yeah, right?
But
yeah.
I think, first of all, getting rid of A.J. Brown is got to be top 5 worst offseason moves in the history of any sport ever.
Yeah, it's horrible.
I think there's a quarterback coach problem.
Okay.
For the longest time, or not the longest time, I was just like, I don't think Tannehill's as bad as everyone else thinks he is.
I don't know. The playoffs last year hurt. The playoffs hurt.
Derrick Henry doesn't play well in the playoffs
That's
either,
true. That's
so it's not fair.
Yeah. It's good.
But I mean, Tannehill. I was at the Commanders game like 3 weeks ago, and I noticed it's like Tannehill will not run, which is fine, but he will not get rid of it. He's getting sacked for like 15 yarders because he's trying to scramble, but no one to throw to. And then they put in Malik Willis, and then what I saw in that overtime was the same thing.
Same stuff.
Make a decision. Do something. I don't know. I mean, I'm obviously no expert, but
look,
the AJ Brown thing just really stings.
That hurt because they got no offensive weapons.
They got nothing for it.
You can put
absolutely
eight in the box, 9 in the box. Doesn't matter. No, they're not gonna throw it to anybody. It doesn't matter. I watched that. I thought Malik Willis. I felt bad for him because
it's a tough spot to be in.
It was a tough spot to be in. I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen. We'll see. I mean, Chiefs are tough.
I mean, we're almost guaranteed a playoff spot because of how terrible the division is. So we'll get there and maybe hope for better next year, I guess.
Yeah. We'll see. Or you can do what I did in Madden and just trade Tannehill, dump the contract, get some picks.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Tannehill's solid if he has someone to throw to.
I agree.
He doesn't.
And from what I saw from Willis, I don't want to trade Tannehill now.
Yeah, and Line's not doing him any favors.
Yeah, that AJ Brown hurt.
Yep.
It hurt all around, everywhere. My notes also tell me, and I'm gonna get to this promotion. I think as long as they're still valid, this SWO and this outbreak.
Hmm.
As long as they're still there, it's still good. I don't have the dates for them. You're going to help me with that. But my notes
Yep.
tell me that you're a Batman fan.
Yeah, less so the more time goes on, but or at least the Batman universe.
Comics or
Um,
movies or both?
both. I haven't read a comic in a long time. I have a
Yeah.
stack of them that I bought a long time ago that I just haven't had the that will to get to. Um, but yeah, all of the above.
All right. We have this discussion a lot on this show.
Mm-hmm.
Probably too much. Um, who is the best Batman? What I'll start with.
The best Batman, in my opinion, is Ben Affleck,
Okay.
which
Okay.
took I didn't want him to be. I hated when they
Right.
cast him, but I mean he crushed it.
Okay. Um.
And I
Good.
know those movies have their flaws, but
Right. He did great
his
though.
performance is pretty great.
That leads me. This is a great transition. I don't know if you're a Howard Stern fan. Maybe you are. Maybe you will understand this
Nah.
anyways. This question. Uh, I couldn't think of a way to convert it into comics. I know how to convert it for wrestling, where it's like push Barry release type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna say F Mary Kill. Michael Keaton's Batman, Christian Bale's Batman, or Ben Affleck's Batman.
Mary Ben Affleck's Batman, um, Kill Keaton, fuck Bale.
There you go. Well done. Well played.
I know everyone loves Keaton. I'm not a Keaton stan for as far as Batman, but that's
It,
just me.
I believe when we had this conversation last time, I believe I chose Christian Bale as my
Mm-hmm.
favorite Batman. Vanessa can chime in if I'm wrong, but I believe I chose Christian Bale. But I think it had more to do with Heath Ledger's Joker. So I wasn't quite certain. I did see Michael Keaton's Batman in the 1989 Batman when it came out in the theaters. I saw it, but I believe I am a Christian Bale fan. But Ben Affleck is growing on me, and if I can see one more time of Ben Affleck as Batman,
Yeah,
I may be swayed.
yeah. I feel you. Left a little to be desired,
Yeah, but I don't think
or
that's
left more on
his.
the
I
table.
don't think that's his fault though. I think that's
No,
more.
no, 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 not him.
I think that's
Like I
more.
said, yeah.
Well, anyways, Mr. Robb Radke. Uh, it's now Rob, right? It's not Robbie anymore. Rob.
Not Robbie. It's
Rob.
Rob,
Rob.
which is funny because when I was Robbie, people would call me Rob. So I
and
decided, well, I'll just shorten it
then
then.
they
And
called you
now
Robbie.
people call me Robbie.
Yeah,
It's whatever.
whatever. It's the time of the show where I'm gonna give you the mic, the proverbial mic. You can put over anything you want. You can let us know what's coming up. You can bury anything you want. To be honest with you, you can say absolutely anything, and I will not interrupt. The floor is yours.
All right, cool. So you can see me this Saturday, November 12th, at Outbreak Wrestling in Hamburg, Pennsylvania. It's at the legendary Hamburg Fieldhouse. Myself and Bad Banks will be defending our Bad Street Championship, Tag Team Championship, against Art of War. Next Saturday, the 19th, you can catch me at SWO in Seven Valleys, Pennsylvania. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it for this month. Some other stuff next month. You can catch me at Restival for Pizza Party Pro, December 29th. That's a ways off. Um, Check out my podcast. It's on Spotify, YouTube under the HTW Network account. Anything but wrestling, where I talk to people in the wrestling community about things that aren't wrestling because
Why not?
what? Yeah,
Everybody has a
I just
wrestling
want to get
podcast.
I just want to get to know my peers better and help the fans kind of get to know them better too. Um, but yeah, that's what I've got coming down the pipeline. Support me, support my friends, the Goons, who I've named. Um, support indie wrestling.
Support indie wrestling and don't be a dick. I threw that in. Mr. Robb Radke did not say don't be a dick. I said it. Yeah, I to be completely honest, I'm so jealous of the Anything But Wrestling podcast. I think I'm jealous of the name. The name alone is perfect. You were talking with someone else about doing a show on 90s sitcoms or 90s TV shows. And then you started throwing out. Have you done that yet?
I don't know. No, I don't think I have. That's a good one to kind of pitch
Yeah, you were
someone
like
on.
you started saying. What did you say? You said something. Then you said Saved by the Bell, and I'm like, oh, I'm down. Let's go. Let's do Saved by the Bell or
Oh,
something. Saturday
might
morning.
have been might have
Yeah,
been with Big Dust.
yeah, maybe. Good stuff, man. I mean, I would prefer to. It's interesting because we have a wrestling show. It's a wrestling show. It's a Twitch show with a wrestling gimmick, and I like to talk wrestling. I like to hear. I guess it means more to me because I'm not in the business. I like to hear what the wrestlers think and all that fun stuff. But I love the fact that we can talk Taylor Swift or Titans football
Right.
or Batman
Yeah.
or all that. You can do it all day. It's fun.
Absolutely.
But yeah. So once again, I'm gonna let you go. Thank you for giving us your time tonight. You're welcome back anytime you need to promote a show or promote a podcast episode or collaborate, do a podcast episode. Let me know if I can crowbar it into my busy schedule with the ladies and all their shit. We can do it. But other than that,
Cool.
you've been easy to talk to tonight. So
All right.
have yourself.
Thanks for having me.
Anytime. Good night.
Good night, bud.
Later. Great stuff, Vanessa.